G'day subscribers. Today we're going to talk about some NASCO books, parts and some other how-tos for your FJ Holden. You're with Jules Knight and Louie here on Jive Talking Garage. Okay, so following our busy weekend last weekend with Dan the welder, we got the additional strapping done on the FJ, and that's allowed us to get full access of the cross member, which is commonly called the dog's leg. Sorry, Lou, we're keeping you up, mate. And we're really making some progress there. So we'll keep everyone up to date on Jive Talking Garage on Facebook with where we are, what we're doing, and how it's all going and coming together. But we try and take Louie up there to see Ella and the other two little doggies as much as possible, and I know he likes it. The weather's been quite cool here in Brisbane, and so Louie's just been a really good little fella to keep us company and all those sorts of things. So from that perspective, he's been a great little friend to have with me, and he always likes to just hang around. So if he's not with Mum, he's with me. And Louie was my my gift to Tracy for our 25th wedding anniversary 6 months ago. So yeah, he's an 8-month-old mini poodle, and we're really happy with him. He's a lovely little dog, very clever. Anyway, look, I'm just going to put him down for the moment. There you go, Louie. You can go and supervise somewhere else, bud. So a few things have arrived in the mail. Now, this is something I really liked. This is, now Wybrock were a manufacturer for NASCO, so you'll see a lot of Wybrock accessories, whether it be horn ring or mirrors or whatever is the case. And here you'll see the Wybrock is on there. So this would be a little mirror. So if you're driving in your car, you get your steering wheel out, you got your steering wheel, your windows there, and this can be used for your blind spot mirror. Rather than have a side rear vision mirror, that can be specifically for the blind spot. You can have another one obviously for your right hand and left hand mirrors, but that's what I'm going to use that for in my right hand driver's side weather shield. So I was super duper happy to get that. Now you'll notice that the glass is not perfect. See how there's a little bit of rubbish around there and down there and so on. Well, that wasn't necessarily advertised or highlighted. However, that comes with that. But it just so happens that I've got a few spares. So yeah, I've got a few in there. So I'll just take that down to the glazier shop at Cleveland and say, can you take that mirror out and put one of those mirrors in? And I'll probably do the same to my NASCO mirrors as well, because let's face it, I want to start off with really nice stuff. The chrome on them is really good. I haven't had to redo it, but what I'll be using on the chrome is Windex with some 0000 steel wool, just to gently get all the grime and rubbish off them. So that is my plan for the mirrors. So I was really pleased to get that blind spot mirror in the mail. So very happy about that. So thank you. Now, next thing, I wanted to just make mention. Now, I took these off the FJ the other day. Now, window winder and door opener, these are obviously not new old stock. These have been remade. They don't have made in China or wherever they have them made. But I've got to say, thank you, Louie. I've got to say that these are really well replicated off the original. I did have some, I still may have a new old stock door handle. These are excellent. Just to go and buy them out of the box like that. I mean, it's pretty terrific. So I have them on the FJ, and I gave viewers a bit of a tip a week or so ago on how to take door handles on and off, and how to just construct a little tool to do it very, very quickly. So that's fine. Now, let's talk about things arriving. One of our members was kind enough to send me their plaque from the All Holden day from a few years ago. So I got that in the mail. That'll go up in the Jive Talking Garage. So that's good. And I've been busy degreasing parts, you know. In the meantime, taking things over to go to the Bright Zinker. Nathan's taken stuff for me to the sandblasters. I'll get that back shortly. They finished one lot. They finished the second lot before they started the first lot. Bit funny, but anyway, that's how it goes. So they're going to do that for me. And what else? The master cylinder's done. The last wheel cylinder is getting rubber greased at the moment. The other stuff's been taken over to the troncolator. We're getting somewhere. And you've all seen the progress that we've had with Project Julius up at Dan the Builders, so that's all good. Now, I got this the other day, and I love it. Without sort of getting it all out, it's a General Motors fan belt guide for fast-moving parts in excellent condition. Love that. So when I'm having a little display thing in the back of the FJ, that will be going on there. I also got a Holtz anti-misting cloth. Now, it's probably got late 60s, early 70s packaging. Didn't bother me. Very happy with it. Thank you, Richard. This will look good in the FJ. So super duper happy with that. The other thing I picked up is for Lukey mufflers. Now, when I got my FJ, had a Lukey muffler on it, and I think I had to go with the Lukey muffler for the NASCO panel van, because when I bought it, I bought the NASCO panel van for $1,400, and it was white and blue patches on it, and it had some mag wheels and a lumpy cam and twin carburetors and extractors and all those sorts of things. And the brains trust said to me, "Oh, this is just a cop magnet." And I thought, yeah, you're right. So I took a lot of that Go Fast gear off and gave it to Basil. And we needed to do brakes, put some brakes on it. Just sort of got it going and stopping and whatever, so that was fine. But then we spent about $80 or so on rings and bearings. So they put rings and bearings in it for me, and then we were off. But the problem was, after I'd given it a paint job, a $99 paint job from Metro Ford Paint Refinishing, and that was painted in the driveway, a dirt driveway, by the way, just quietly. But anyway, put that aside. And then Jeff the Line Tamer did all the sign railroading on it off a couple of cars at Taree that are on Jive Talking Garage. But when we put the motor back in, fired up first go, which was great, but it had that much pressure, and it was ported and polished and all those sorts of things. It had that much pressure in it. Coming back from the Breakfast Creek Hotel, it blew the backside out of the muffler. So I went from having a pretty quiet FJ Holden to having this thing that rumbled like a race car. Needless to say, I got pulled over by the police and asked lots of questions, and Blind Freddy could have told you it looked like it was a stock standard little motor car. But anyways, they let me off, and I just told them, look, we're going home to get a new muffler on it, which led to a few other problems. But anyway, that's the story for another day about registration plates. When you buy registration during a blackout and they promise they'll actually swap the temporary plate over with the new plate that you've bought, and they don't get to do it. But forget that for the moment. I digress. Now, the coil for the FJ that gets mounted to the firewall traditionally has the GMH on it. But there's another one at the time that you could buy as a spare part in the cylinder that's got NASCO on it. NASCO, NASCO, NASCO. NASCO there, NASCO there. Or NASCO there. I'm going to do both of them up. You know, I've got these type of clamps for that, and by the time I'm finished with it, seriously, you'd never know. And not only that, who cares? Coil's a coil. So, but anyways, we got stock. We've got stock. I've got at least 3. So Georgia had a problem when she was with her big brother Nathan with a rear wheel and rear wheel studs, and I was talking to the troncolator about it, and also Lachlan, and the common answer from both was, okay, Dad, you need to coat. You're having a problem with the threads that the wheel nuts go onto. That's the problem. So therefore it needs some copper coat. So when I was over at the troncolators, Russell said to me, you need this nickel anti-seize lubricant. There's a brush in it, and it's it's made by Moly Tech. And he said, seriously, Jules, you'll buy one of these and it'll take you a lifetime to actually use it. You just lightly coat the thread and put the wheel nut on, and it just protects everything, and it makes it so much easier. So it's anti-seize lubricant, extreme temperature up to 1450 degrees centigrade. Thank you, troncolator. So I used that on George's car. Perfect, no problems. So I just had the professor on the phone from Adelaide University, and he said to me, blah, 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 this is what's happening with my rear universal joint. And so he's going to have a look for a part that he needs, and I'm looking for a part that I think he needs. But I'm going to show you something similar. So where the 4 nuts on the rear universal joint have a small fitting on it behind the joint, they actually couple up to the flange that comes out of the diff at the pinion. Now, let's go on. This is the type of bracket that you need, and these little lugs, once these slip over where the bolts are and the bolts go into place, well, you can actually knock these over, which, well, let's see if I've got a bolt head around here. I think I do. So when the bolt goes through, well, then those lugs can be knocked down onto the side of the nut and lock it into place so that it won't move. Because let's face it, I mean, it's one of the spinning parts of a car off your tail shaft. And oh, hello, Louis. And so you need everything to work properly. And the other type of thing that's used for the same ilk is a similar type bracket on your flywheel. So these go on the center of the flywheel where it bolts onto the back of the crank, and these get knocked down and knocked into place. So there you go for the professor. That's the type of thing that you are looking for. I've got one if you can't find yours, and if I need to look for others, happy to do so. Now I've had some rods go off to Bright Zinc yesterday, cadmium plating, Bright Zinc or whatever, and they had these little fasteners on the end of them. Now what these little fasteners do is the rod comes around at, for instance, it might be the rod on a panel van that opens and closes the door. So as you turn the handle to open it, well, the rods are attached on the other side to a fitting, and when the door handle moves, so does the fitting on the back. And as that moves, well then it pulls a rod over, and these little fittings actually lock the rod in place. They lock the rod in place. So it's just so clever how they do things. I could never be that clever, but anyway, I can just follow the book. I'm a book guy. If I've got it in the book, I can slowly follow it. If necessary, go and ask the brain's trust and just sort of go from there. Now, some of the bits and pieces that I have bought recently, one of the bits was for the steering wheel. So you push the horn button goes beep, beep. Now in here, you'll see a contact, followed by, oh, you know, it's got little nuts on them and things like that. That's okay. But what it's also got are these little buttons. That's a contact button. See how it, well, as that's going up and down, the bottom is actually contacting a plate. And so with the plate, that contact actually forms a circuit, which because it's live, when it's contacted, it forms a circuit and it makes the horn go beep, beep, meep, meep, as the FJ does. So really simple little thing. That's how the horn works. It's just forming an electrical circuit from a circuit breaker. Pretty clever. Now, here at Jive Talking Garage, we don't just center on Holden accessories. I bought a Mopar accessory last month, and I've had this one for 20 years. Now, this is a Ford Motor Company Fomoco accessory. I've got a couple of these, and I really love these because they are a cigarette lighter, a map light. Now I just thought, oh, isn't that clever? Just shove that into your cigarette lighter and, you know, you got your little light bulb in there. Your light bulb goes on. You can look at your map, unplug it, turn it off. Everyone's happy. So, what else we've got? Oh, we've just been doing some other things. Repco's got some pretty good stuff at the moment. I went in there the other day and got myself a coffee cup. I thought, oh, well, I've got a new assignment. I need a new coffee cup. My last one got broken on me, so it was the same dude that ate my upholstery and my FJ Holden. The dog thought it was his homework, obviously. So, today we've talked about coils. We've talked about copper coat. We've talked about horns. We've talked about clip brackets. We've talked about accessories. We've talked about mirrors. Did I mention the coils, or did I mention the coils? Steering wheel and my FJ Holden. So FJ Holden's going really well. We have, I cut the sill the other day. I just said to the welder, we need to get to that cross member there, to that dog leg, and yeah, sure, we could crawl on our backs to fix it, but I reckon I can fabricate the piece that's required in two pieces and make a U-shaped piece of metal. I can fabricate that all up, and so I just chopped the inner and outer sill out so you can actually walk into the floor of my car now, so we can get to the number one cross member, to that dog's leg, so we can get out the rusty bits and fabricate an entirely new section to go in there, so it will be perfect. But the sooner that's done, the better, because then I can take it to the car wash, blow it all out, take it to the trunculators so he can back off all the fasteners that he wants, then go to, this is all on the same day, go to the sandblaster, drop the car off at the sandblaster so they can do underneath the car the firewall and the apron panels. And I'm even thinking about doing the inside of the car to the belt line at the moment. I'm trying not to get too carried away. And then after that, you know, it can go up to John's, put on the hoist, I'll paint the firewall first. Second is the chassis, is actually the undercarriage, and then do the apron panels, followed by the transplant of the rear end and also the front end. And the front end will pre-mate the motor and gearbox, and then lower the car down onto the engine and gearbox, which is already sitting on the front suspension. So a lot of time and thought's gone into it on how it's best to actually do it. It'll probably save us, I'm thinking, about 3/4 of a day. And we'll get a really good job out of it too. So I'm pretty happy about that. I've got to paint the motor and gearbox. That's over there, plus a few other things. I've got some little customer jobs to get out the door. Got to do that. Started the new assignment, being asked about another one. Things are going good. Plenty on here at the Jive Talking Garage. And also the Nationals. The Nationals entry forms are out, so don't forget to fill in your AHF entry form and get that off, because the AHF is a federation of the clubs, and so the clubs are putting on the Nationals for their members, so you've got to be a member of the club to be able to go, so that's fine. So in a week and a half for the Queensland bid, I'm bringing our bidding group together to look at the proposed venue for the motoring events, the Sirime vineyards and cellars, for somewhere for dinner or presentation night and things like that, followed by Maguire's. We want to have a look at the showgrounds as well, because we've got a few ideas there, but things are coming together. Already got a letter of support from our local councillor. We have full support by our Member of Parliament. They want to put the Nationals in the Redlands. They want the AHF run out of Redlands. They're happy for all of the Nationals to be run out of the Redlands. We've done it here in the Redlands once before, and they want to see it done again. And plus, they're happy for the FXFJ Holden Club of Queensland to be run out of the Redlands as well. So there is a few things happening. Here at Jive Talking Garage. So pop by Facebook, see what we're doing. Don't forget to, as far as this video is concerned, this episode, to share, like, and subscribe with your friends. But more importantly, enjoy your Holden.